Redditors, how far have you gone in a truth or dare game? Shaved a dude's gonads. It was weird. I do recall being naked in a tree. Some bastard had a camera. But luckily it was dark and there was a decent amount of foliage on the tree. I sucked my own big dick. Or at least tried to. But just kinda licked the tip a bit before the pain in my back was intolerable. At a party I was dared to straddle some guy while he was lying down and lick melted chocolate off of his face and neck until it was clean. It wasn't too bad. But now he's my best friend's boyfriend and it's pretty awkward. Edit. Sorry it was unclear. But I am female. My best friend's girlfriend was dared to make out with me in front of everyone, including my best friend. We did it and I still feel bad about it. Icing on the cake, she suggested the dare. Playing in detention in high school. There were old CRT monitors sitting on a table in the back of the room. I was dared to get up and carry one to the desk I was sitting at, and when asked what I was doing, reply, I need to check my email. I was promptly informed that computer won't work and told to put it back and sit down. Was a good detention. This one is awkward. I had a chance to kiss a girl I liked back in middle school during truth or dare. But due to my ducking shyness I ended up licking the tire of a car for not kissing her. Semicolon. I folded when I was dared to eat shit out of the toilet. Other than that, I pulled down my trousers and pants and ran down the street with them around my ankles and my meat and two veg waving around for all to see. Duck pants. And duck you. When I was in around 8th grade, my friends and I used to play truth or dare with my sister and her friends who were just a grade below us. We play strip truth or dare, meaning if you didn't do a dare you had to shed layers. This would lead to some pretty hardcore dares that were actually performed by the end of the night. This one girl, I had a crush on her at the time, definitely took the cake in most outrageous dare. She was stripped to just underwear and any dare she didn't do meant permanent nudity for the rest of the night. Naturally, me and my buddy dared her to stick a ping pong paddle up her ass. Needless to say, we never used that paddle after that. TLDR, during a strip truth or dare session, girl takes ping pong paddle up the ass. When I was in college, a whole bunch of my friends and I rented a cottage for the weekend. We decided, after playing a few drinking games, to play truth or dare. The dares were pretty lame and I decided it was time to kick it up a notch. I began dishing out dares like to girls make out. Girls get into bikinis and hop into hot tub that was busted so the water was ice cold and pull in crazy truths out of people. Eventually it was my turn to be dared and to be good sport. I chose dare. The revenge was you get a makeover with eyeliner, blush, lipstick and earrings. All the girls will cover you with lipstick kisses and you must go home with this on you to your overprotective girlfriend like that. Needless to say, it was an awkward drive home from that weekend. If there is enough response, I'll post proof pic. Edit. Here is the pic. I'm sorry. I would have posted sooner but I was putting my daughter to sleep. To answer, the girlfriend was not impressed. And that was the point in the relationship that told me it was not going to work. I was young and naive to put up with her jealous personality as a fault of my own. Months later I would find out she cheated on me twice during our relationship. I didn't do this but a classmate of mine did. We were on a class trip to Berlin. When it got late we started drinking and began to play truth or dare. So a girl asked a friend of mine to strip down but naked and run across the hall at the hotel we were staying at. Needless to say we needed a new hotel the next morning. I was dared to keep 2 ice cubes in my panties until they melted. Well, I shifted, and one of the ice cubes went up inside my vag. You know how sometimes, if you lick a really cold ice cube, it will stick to your tongue. And you end up tearing your tongue a bit. I was raw for a week. Edit. It was 2 ice cubes, not 3. We dared my friend to eat grass and say I'm a moo cow on camera. My friend had pissed on that same patch of grass a minute earlier. that same party I was dared to run out into the middle of the road naked with a stuffed teddy bear and pretend to duck it, shouting I'm ducking a ducking bear at the top of my lungs. Fun night. I had a thing with this chick at the time. I went to her house and she had her 2 friends over as well as their boyfriends' crushes, who I am good friends with. Anyway, we decide to play some truth or dare. Starts off with kissing, making out. I get tired of that, so I just ask my girl if we could speed things up a bit. She grabs my big dick. Starts doing her thing. Then eventually the game gets up to speed and my buddies and I end the night with our girls under the covers and us high-fiving each other. My friend once ran around the inside of a church sanctuary completely naked, while her crush, 12 other teens, and myself watched. The priest, her mom, and a bunch of other adults were in an office that led out into the sanctuary, and we didn't know when they'd be getting out. Family friends dared me to lick a frozen pole when I was about 7. They were about 10 and 11, girl and boy. Ripped off most of my taste buds. They still bring it up at family parties. I always picked there because inevitably I'd get to kiss a girl. It came as no surprise when I finally admitted to my friends I was bisexual when we were around 18. But I got to kiss girls for about 6 years without having to explain myself. I ended up fondling this girl's bobs and getting a BJ from her too. This is why you don't let hormone-raged middle schoolers play truth or dare. I had to take a bite out of a bar of soap every time I swore. One colorful vocabulary later, and I'm throwing up bubbles. Played a game with some kids when I was 10. They dared me to never go on a date. 13 years later and I'm still winning. I ended up jacking another guy off. A group of us were playing fairly low-key truth or dare. We eventually stopped. Some people left. Others started playing on some games console. Me and this guy sat on the bed watching, with our lower bodies under the quilt. He dares me to grab his big dick. I do. He dares me to jack him off. I do. So yeah. 8 years later. We're both gay. I think 8 years ago you probably were too. My parents told me my existence was based on a truth or dare game. Me and my best friend used to play this all the time. But he would always find ways to get out of meeting his dare. For example, I dared him to run around the block naked. So he took a toy block into the bathroom, stripped, and ran around it. Things like that. One night, I got tired of it. So I dared him to run down to the end of the street naked and to actually do his dares for once. He agreed. But only on condition that I accept his dare to stand on the front lawn naked. We agreed. So we both grabbed towels, stripped down and went outside. On the count of 3. We both dropped our towels. He ran down the street and I stood there looking around like a very skinny, pale idiot. After about 25 seconds, I hear what sounds like a yell. And the next thing I know, he's running back as fast as he can, screaming that I need to get inside and fast. It turns out that, as soon as he reached the corner, a cop car had driven past. Needless to say, we didn't venture out for a while. And the game was over. While in a hot tub with 3 chicks, I ended up diving for an ice cube between this girl's DD breasts. And had to get it before it melted. Mission accomplished. Diving. Face mouth only. No hands. Edit. To all those saying I should have taken my time blah blah. I take my truth or dare very ducking seriously. And to the naysayers, I can assure you, no one lies on the internet. No one. Made out with a gay guy for a straight minute. He did some male modeling. I'm also a totally straight guy. But this guy knew how to kiss. The girls went crazy. And I got a threesome that night. Just because of that guy. Best wingman ever. Edit, FFM. It was almost a foursome with 3 girls. But one had to bail last minute equals. I ate a bar of deodorant. Had to get my stomach pumped. You are an idiot. Actual truth or dare. Fondled a bob and later a friend pooped in the forest naked. One-on-one truth or dare obviously being used as a prelude to sex. I don't wanna brag or anything, but I hugged a guy when I was 11 years old because of this game. Lost my virginity. On camera. Using a glow-in-the-dark condom. I didn't even remember this the next morning until I was shown on video. To make matters worse, this was my first time getting drunk. At least it was with an older girl, so she actually had an idea of what to do. Edit. Why does this happen to me that every time I use a throwaway anonymous account? This one is for ladder banners. I get tons of karma on my comments. What the hell? All I did was lick a rug. I want a threesome. Flirt with my gay dean at the school Halloween party. Unfortunately, he thought I was serious. It made the rest of my college career kind of awkward. Kiss my neighbor on the cheek. We were such scandalous 7-year-olds. One time I was dared to seduce a friend's mother. It worked. Details. There's really not that much to tell. A couple years ago, me and a bunch of friends had a party at his house while his mother, who I feel I should elaborate, was single at the time, was on a night out with some of her friends. She was supposed to crash at her friend's house, but something came up and she ended up coming back while we were in the middle of a truth or dare game that was not really that interesting. One of my friends jokingly dared me to seduce her, and I do not back down from dares. Not surprisingly, the friend whose mother it was and I never really hung out much after that. I can't imagine why. After a late night movie run, some friends and I decided to play truth or dare at the deserted mall. We were on the second level above a place daycare for younger children. They dared me to jump into the ball pit. And I thought it'd be fine because the jump was no more than 15 feet and I'd be cushioned for my fall. They actually remove them every night and I had the ugliest bruise on my ass for weeks. Another time I went skinny dipping in a house that was supposedly still for sale. Somebody had already moved in. And he was a pastor. Fun. Edit. Sorry. I meant deserted as in it was after hours and nobody else was there. Sex with my friend's sister. 2 years later we are still dating. Interesting way to start a relationship. I made someone lick a school's doorknob. I didn't think he would get as sick as he did. I took a girl's pants off with my teeth. I'm surprised I was able to accomplish it. I did the same in middle school. Summer Chat took a picture and it got circulated around school. But not to the result of cool points. To the result of a parent-teacher conference with my dad. He high-fives me when we left. Not something I did. I was playing with my girlfriend and a guy friend. He was on her right and I was on her left. He went up to get a glass of water. As my girlfriend took her turn, she chose dare. And she had to kiss the player to her left. He had to walk between the two of us and he happened to be on her left when she had her turn. Even though he told us to skip his turn if he wasn't back in time. So he technically wasn't playing at the time. She decided it would be cheating otherwise. So she insisted on kissing him instead of me. I figured it was the game. So I didn't show that it bothered me that much. That kiss was longer than any kiss I had with her. And I saw his tongue. We broke up not too soon after. Completely unrelated. Edit. The guy friend ended up coming out a few months later.